Hello guys, Nick is here, and in this video we are going to do a full constructed event with an Esper control deck. If you want to see the list, you can pause right here to check for more details on it. It is built for the best of 1, so some of the cards might not be what you would see in a best of 3, and I do not own all of the cards I would want. Like for example, I only have 2 copies of Vraska's Contempt when I would like to have at least 3 or maybe 4. So let's take a look at how it will perform in a constructed event. I like this deck quite a lot. Here we have a first match, and we have to mulligan a little bit because our lands suck quite a bit. Here we have a Thief of Sanity in the opener, which is pretty good. We start with a land, and that's pretty much it. Opponent starts with a tap land also. They follow up with a Legion Lieutenant, so we know what we're up against, which is vampires, so we follow up with our Thief of Sanity. Opponent plays a third land, and they play this little guy. Quite annoying, but I think we can manage it. We decide to not block, obviously. Fourth land, here we could Ritual of Soot, but we need to keep our Thief of Sanity alive. With the trigger, we could take a call to the Feast to maybe block their guys, but I think the Contempt is a little better to kill their biggest threats. So we decide to use it right away. And our opponent doesn't seem too happy about that, and they respond with nice. They play a fourth land. They attack for 4. Maybe not. Who knows? Oh yeah, they do. And they play Neonin War Leader. That card is screwing us big time because our sweepers that we've got on hand right here do not clear this guy. So we try to attack and find an answer to this guy, which unfortunately I don't find. So I just select a Sanctum Seeker to maybe try and block a little bit to try to not take too much damage. And try to hold out for like maybe a Golden Demise followed by a Eldest Reborn or something like that. But they murder our vampire and attack for a whole bunch. We're only at 6, which is problematic. And our plan to maybe get an answer in their deck falls apart because they kill our guy and we have nothing in hand to help us. So I decide to concede in this spot. So 0-1, not the best start, but we might be able to do something. Match number 2. Opponent starts with a mountain but doesn't play anything, so that's good for us. I start with a Watery Grave, tap. They put a land on tap, Discovery, so they're probably a Drake deck. Which I think I am favored against with all the Eldest Reborns and stuff. Short course. They discard an up. I pick up a Cleansing Nova, which is pretty good in this matchup if they ever play an Ifnizit. So here I decide to play Thief of Sanity. And they put in Enigma Drake, which is fine because I have a cast down in hand and I'll be able to steal one of their cards. So I attack, let's see what they give us. Charter Court, shock or land. I decide for a Charter Course because draw 2 is really good in this spot and nothing I can shock in their creatures is good. Lava Coil here sucks a little bit, but we already have enough value with the Thief of Sanity it's not too bad. And I have another one in hand, so I'm not too stressed out. I decide to play it right here, nothing better to do. 3 Cleansing Novas, we're sure to never run out of creature removal. Here they play Niv Mizzet, which is not a problem at all, because I have the Eldest Reborn. They have to sacrifice it, and they don't even draw a card. Here I attack them. I decide to take the Spell Pierce, because why not? And I can even play it if they decide to do a big non-creature spell, such as a Planeswalker, but they decide to shock, which is a good thing for them. And they play an Op. And a Search for Azcanta, which is probably too late for them. Isolated Chapel is the draw, they have to discard their last card. And I cannot do anything. I check maybe to blow up their Azcanta, but it's really not worth it because our Eldest Reborn is better than that. I decide to counter their Crackling Drake. Thief of Sanity is fine. And they decide to Azcanta in their main phase. We pick up a Discovery and it's our turn. So here I pick up a Niv Mizzet without any surprise. Sad thing is I don't have any instant or sorceries I can play to draw any cards, but if they ever play one, I have a Spell Pierce, so it's not too bad. And they decide to concede, which is understandable. So 1 and 1, not too bad. Match number 3. I play a Guildgate, pass a turn. They lead with a Lion War Elves, which is problematic, but we pick up a Thought Erasure, and I decide to remove their Vraska, which can be problematic since I don't have a Contempt. And as we can see, they have a lot of little guys, and we have a Golden Demise, which is pretty good. So they play a second Elf and a little Supplier here. Sad thing is they have a removal spell for our Thief of Sanity, so I'm gonna have to kill all of their little guys if I ever want to play it. So that's why I decide to kill this guy with that. So I decide to use some one-on-one removal on these little guys so that my Thief of Sanity can live. So here it seems like a decent spot to play the Thief. We follow up with a Glowspore Shaman. And I pick up a Vraska's Contempt, which is really nice. Here from their deck, I pick up a J-Light Ranger, which I could cast if I want on this turn, but I decide to not because we have counter spells and contempts. I decide to contempt their guy in response to the journey. And in this spot, they decide to concede because we had too much of an advantage, so 2 and 1. Match 4 here. Our opponent mulligans, which is pretty good, but they're on the draw and we're pretty slow, so mono red, it seems. That matchup can be a little difficult if I don't pick up my Moments of Craving. They lead with a Runaway Steamkin, which I decide to counter. Because Ritual of Soot is a little bit far away. Here I play Thief of Sanity. If they use a removal spell on it, it's not too bad. It's like a counter spell of some sort for direct damage, which it is. They decide to kill it, attack for 1, we're at 18. For now it's not too bad, but I don't pick up a land here, which is really bad, slows me quite a bit. They play their 4th land, and Wizard's Lightning, attack for 2, I'm at 13, and they play Chain Whirler, so I really need a land here to Ritual of Soot, and I do not get it, so that match is gonna get difficult quite fast. They attack for 5, I'm at 7. I finally pick up a land, so I have to Soot here. And I hope they don't pick up too much gas. If they pick up a few lands, I might be fine, but here they have a land and Lightning Strike, so I hope they get some creatures so I can contempt them. Firebrand is fine. So Water Grave, we put it tapped, obviously. Here I decide to not attack. Make sure I have a blocker for the Firebrand. Here I decide to attack, because I could get a good card. But they use a shock, so that plan's off the table. Here I make a questionable play. I decide to contempt the little guy to not take too much damage, but they have a risk factor in response, which really sucks. So I cannot take the damage, so they draw 5 cards out of it in the end. So it is dealt with, but... And they put a land. We finally have our 5th land, so I play a Teferi and hope to God I can counter a little bit of their stuff and not take too much damage. But they do have 5 cards and after their draw step, so it's gonna get pretty difficult. Lava Runner, I decide to not kill that. Well, decide to not counter it. Viashino, also, because I have Eldest Reborn and stuff. Rotate 2. And the Chain Whirler, I will sabotage. Don't need the land at this point. Moment of Craving is what I need the most. So that's why I continue to draw. Here, Cleansing Nova. I do hope I can counter something good. Chain Whirler, that's something I need to counter because I have an Eldest Reborn. This thing I do need to counter. But in retrospect, I could have countered the Chain Whirler and bounced the factory with Teferi. But I wouldn't have used the Eldest Reborn, and it would be at 1 more life. Here they have a Lava Coil, which is useless for them. And I hope to draw once again a good thing. Thought Erasure is not what I need. Let's see what their draw is. Nothing good. They discard what they drew, which is a land. We might be able to turn the corner here if they have a few bad draws in a row. I need really to be able to ult the Teferi if I want to have a chance. Here I have a counterspell for whatever card you could kill me with, and this is one of them, unfortunately, so I have to counter that. Cast Down, I feel, is something I need to keep, just because if they have a Lava Runner, I'm gonna be dead. So here I pick up a Thief of Sanity in hope I can have a good clock with it by attacking and finding burn spells to kill them. see what they draw. The Firebrand. So here we are dead. But alright, so here I am 2-2. Match number 5. Let's see if I can pick up a win here. They start with red, and they don't seem to be mono red because they didn't play anything. Thought Erasure is pretty good here, and I decide to take the Enigma Drake, which might have been a mistake because they have a removal spell in hand for the Thief of Sanity, but I figured they win with creatures, and usually we can win without our Thief, so here I miss a land draw, but I do not play the Thief because I know they can remove it anyway, so I decide to keep the counter spells up. 4th land is good. Pass the turn again. Here I'm prepared to sabotage the Rawl, but they decide to opt instead, which is probably fine for them. Don't have any white yet for Teferi. Still don't pick up any land, so I have to discard something, which is the Moment of Craving. They play Azcanta. I decide to counter it to maybe bait a counter of their own. Because if I want to play Teferi safely, I will need them to not have any counter spells. And I do not pick a land, but another counter spell is not too bad. Decide to play a Charter Course, which I do counter because I know their hand is pretty bad. So it's going to give me quite a bit of time. I don't need the Syncopate here, I don't feel, because I need to pick up a land. And they play Crackling Drake. If I pick up a land, I can play the Eldest Reborn, which is really good. But once again, the land is nowhere to be found, so I have to contempt this little guy. At this point, they're probably going to play Rawl because I used a removal spell and I'm tapped out. And that's what they do. So I really need to pick up a land for the Eldest Reborn on my turn. Which I do, luckily, so let's hope for no Spell Pierce. And they don't have it, so they have to sacrifice their Rawl. On their turn, they flip their Azcanta, and they decide to use it right away. So it's basically my Rawl versus their Azcanta. Well, my future Rawl, because I'm probably going to pick that up with the Eldest Reborn. They decide to discard Beacon Bolt, which is reasonable. I still do not play a Thief, because they do have the removal spell still in hand. Here they pick up a Devious Cover-Up, which is pretty annoying. I do need the white land. And with the Eldest Reborn, as predicted, I pick up a Rawl. Here we pick up a land. I play the lanes and try a Thief, because I need to bait out some counter spells. So I don't mind getting my Thief countered here. They decide once again to activate their Azcanta. They get a Lightning Strike. And I'm at 22 life and my Planeswalker is pretty healthy, so that's not too scary. I decide to keep the Syncopate. Its counter spells in this matchup can be pretty good. Here I pick a second Teferi, so I can play the first one pretty safely. If they counter it, no big deal, but they let it through. At this point I have 2 planeswalkers in play, so I'm in a pretty good spot. They activate their Ascanta again, pick up a shock. They have quite a bit of burn in hand. Enigma Drake, I decide to let it through because I have a cleansing Nova for it anyway, and I can pick up some removal with my Ascanta. I prefer to keep my counter spells for something else. And they discard the Beacon Bolt to hand size. I'm pretty close to ulting any of my planeswalkers. I can ult Rawl on the next turn. Here I decide to Cleansing Nova. So here they have to take a choice to kill a planeswalker with burn. They decide to go at the fairy, which is really fine to me. I have another one and I want to ult with Rawl anyway, so them killing the fairy is really no big deal. I decide to ult him. At this point we are really favored to win. I just have to counter some of their stuff, kill it, and game is pretty much over. So Essence Scatter. I decide to sabotage the scatter to get a trigger from my emblem. I decide whenever I need the land, if I want to chain a lot of spells with Rawl. I decide to Shivan Fire my Thief, which is fine. I will not win with it anyway, I will win with the emblem, so that's fine. They try to Crackling Drake, which I let go through. It sucks a little bit if they have a dive down or the Vraskas, but I do have 2 Cleansing Novas and an Eldest Reborn, so they do have the dive down. Like I said, it's not a problem. I decide to pay 2 life to have a lot of mana to do quite a bit of stuff in case I draw other instants and sorceries. So Cleansing Nova goes through, and I'm 2 instant or sorceries away from killing them. For the course, I let it go through. Ascanta, they pick up an op. I decide I will syncopate anything that they play just to get an emblem trigger. On my turn I need to play only 1 instant or sorcery and I'm fine. Here they're tapped out and I have a lot of them, so they decide to concede. 3 and 2, pretty good. Match number 6. So first hand was pretty bad, second one is pretty bad also, but I cannot justify going to 5. So I hope they're gonna be quite slow, but they're on green-black. And they have a Wild Growth Walker on 2, so this will be pretty difficult, I think. And I will need a second Swamp to be able to contempt their biggest threat. Here they attack for 2. Cast down's pretty good. Do my 3rd land and pass a turn. The Midnight Reaper, so I cast down in response so that they don't draw anymore. They attack. Here I do draw a second black source, which will probably serve to contempt the Midnight Reaper, because in this matchup I do not want them to have any bit of value if I can prevent it. They bin the Assassin's Trophy. I pick up a 5th land. Here I decide to see what they will play, and since I'm pretty sure I'm going to contempt the Reaper, well, I let them play their turn and they don't play anything, so I contempt the Reaper at the end of turn. But here it's getting pretty sketchy. I'm only at 5 and they have 2 creatures, so I play the Eldest Reborn. They sack the 2/1. They play another creature, which is pretty threatening. I'm going to have to top deck here if I don't want to die, because I will be only at 2, so I really need to top deck here. And there we go, Cleansing Nova to the rescue. So here I'm not too stressed out because it's unlikely that they're going to play a lot of threats on the same turn. They play only one thing, which is really nice. So I bring back a Doom Whisperer with the Eldest Reborn. And at this point I think I've turned the corner and I'm in a pretty good position. The Fairy comes down, and I have a counterspell to back it up. But even so, I decide to bin the Wild Growth Walker. Not the Wild Growth Walker, but the 2/1. Here they flee Vivian and kill the Doom Whisperer. But Vivian is no problem because I have the Eldest Reborn. They have to sacrifice the Vivian, and I will have a counterspell backup if needed. And I have a Nova if they play a Carnage Tyrant. They trophy the Teferi, which is no problem at all, because I have another one in hand. Thank you for the land. They play a Doom Whisperer. This one I counter. Moment of Craving. At this point I don't really need it, because the Eldest Reborn will give me a creature anyway if I need to block. I pick up a Golden Demise, which is not too bad. They discard a Wild Growth Walker, which is weird to me because they do need threats on the board to kill me. Maybe they do have really good cards in hand they don't want to discard. Jade Life Ranger. Land and Cast Down. So they keep the Cast Down on top, probably because I have a big creature coming up with the Eldest Reborn. Here I have a really good Golden Demise, so I pick up a Vivian Reed because the Cast Down cannot kill that.
I did not attempt to lose to you.
So Vivian can pick up either a land or a Thief of Sanity, and Thief of Sanity it is.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
So at this point, I'm in a really good position. I don't think I can lose. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't play the... Oh, I didn't play the Thief because it did have a Cast Down on top, but anyway, they decided to concede. It was too much for them. So 4 and 2. Not too much. Not too bad. Merfolk, okay. So that's either a mono blue Curious Obsession deck or a pure Merfolk one. So let's see. Oh, green, so Merfolk it is. Silver Guild Adept. The hand is not the best against Merfolk, but oh, here is a golden demise, so that's going to help me quite a bit. So I use it right away, because I want to develop the Thief of Sanity on the next turn. Merfolk Branchwalker. They bin the Kumena Speaker. And I decide to bin the Thought Erasure, but I do pick another one anyway. I need a second blue source for that counterspell. Deep Root Elite can be quite threatening. I'm probably going to pick up something eventually to deal with it. So here I have a Jungleborn Pioneer, so I decide to play the Eldest Reborn for the tempo mostly, because I'm hardly going to have another good turn to play it where it fits really, because they're probably going to develop quite a bit of Merfolks here, which they do. Basically, I'm gonna have to play at their own game and play a lot of Merfolks of my own with the Thief of Sanity. Usually Merfolk don't have quite a lot of removal, so it will be hard for them to deal with the Thief. Here I pick up the Merfolk Mistbinder because it's the biggest threat they have in their hand. Here I continue on the offense because I do have a Merfolk I can play. So I play the Jungleborn Pioneer, which will give me a good blocker. They play the Jadebearer, and if they overextend, I can always Cleansing Nova the board. And they do play quite a bit of stuff. And a Seafloor Oracle, they don't have enough mana to play it anyway. Here, Ritual of Soot is pretty good. I decided to bring back a Silver Gill for the card draw, but I'm going to have to sweep the board. And second Ritual of Soot, so with 3 sweepers in hand, it's going to be hard for me to lose this game. With the Thief, I pick up a Kumena of my own. Here, I destroy the board and play a Miscloaked Herald. Unfortunately, they do pick up a land for the Seafloor Oracle. That's not too bad, because I flip Askenta and pick up a Cast Down, which is perfect. They have no card in hand, I have a Kumena I can play, plus counter. So I decide to not play the Kumena, keep the counter up, and they decide to concede. Alright, so 5 and 2, so from 2 and 2 to 5 and 2, that's really good. So let's try to see if we can win another match here. The mono red against, we already lost the mono red, and here though I have a Moment of Craving, so maybe I can have a little bit of an edge here. Let's see. Owner, okay. It does die to Moment of Craving. Here I decide to Thought Erasure because Moment of Craving I can play whenever. Here the only card I cannot deal with is the Frenzy, and it's the biggest threat on the long term. And the game is probably going to go long if I will have to win. Unfortunately, they do pick up a Pyromancer, which is a good amount of damage over time. Once again here, same principle, I do play the Thief. I know they're probably going to kill it. Here they pick up a Wizard's Lightning, and the tempo is too much. Here I have to play the removal spells. Here they pick up a land, so that's a little saving grace for me. Moment of Craving and Cast Down will come up. I will be at 7 and they have 3 in hand, so they will have to draw a little bit of blanks if I want to win. Here that is not a good draw for me, so I have to play the Thief. If they kill it with the Lightning Strike, I'm saving 3 damage to my face. Here they do pick up a Lava Runner. I decide to not block because if they don't kill the Thief and I can take something out of their hand that to kill the Lava Runner, that can be good. So that's what I'm trying to do. So I do attack. It's risky, but it's the line I have to pick. Runaway Steamkin if they don't. Sad thing is, they can kill it with the Firebrand and attack for 2 and I'm dead, but I hope they don't see that line. But they Lava Coil the guy and they will attack for lethal. So good game, and that will be the end of the run. So 5 and 3, not too shabby. Let's see which cards we pick up. So Sorcerer's Wand, Guild Summit, and Haphazard Bombardment. It's actually a card I wanted to maybe build another deck. So that will be the end of the video, and if you want to see any more of these, please subscribe and comment any deck idea you would have and of some things you would maybe like to see, and I'll be sure to check out and try to do a run or matches with decks you want to see. So I hope you have a really nice day, and please once again comment, like and subscribe for more. Goodbye.